There is one way to get guaranteed views, but I need the car tomorrow. Oh my god! This is a crossover episode! Whoa. Hello and welcome to this channel that is never normally here.
No, we don't.
I have to explain you something. We had some budget cuts, so we only have one microphone.
With your tone, I think it's better if I hold it so you can listen to me, because Costas can be heard even with full-blown race cars going through.
I have a feeling that you can put it there, down there, in the end of the pit lane.
Yeah, and you can still. So we normally come here for work, but this time we are coming here for fun.
We are here to do something special.
And when you mean special, you mean?
Special. This guy that is next to me.
He's going to be the ballast. He's going to be the ballast of Gabriele that is going to be driving his race car, namely a GT3 Cup 992.
Serxio is gonna go with a guy that holds the fastest lap ever in that car, in the 911 Cup.
And the fastest race lap.
And the fastest race lap. And they're gonna go for what Gab said, no, it's gonna be a casual lap. And I don't believe that it's gonna be a casual lap. I think it's gonna be fucking awesome. But anyway, we're here. Everything is quiet, but like in a few minutes it's gonna be like crazy, and cars are flying left and right, and Sergio is gonna be in the middle of all these things for a cool lap. And maybe we can get the main man to give us a walk around the race car.
That would be very cool. So people also know what the car is, what the fast is all about, etc. I have been lucky enough to drive and to be taken passenger at the Nürburgring and other racetracks in fast or very fast cars. So even though I sort of know what's happening around this place, I don't think I'm fully ready for the performance of this car. So I'm pretty much looking forward to what's going to happen in the next half an hour. Hopefully.
You are not, and they are not. So actually, let's get this episode going.
And what the car does in the corners, like the amount of grip is just unreal. Thanks to Black Falcon, I'm able to do this today, and to him, of course. That was.
Welcome to the latest One Lap Heroes video. Apparently we still do videos. I am shocked as much as you are. This is a special episode. I don't know if the lap is before or after, but this was finally we managed to get Serxio in the car, not driving, but I was driving. And I think he had some fun. You will see it. Maybe you already seen it. Serxio is there. So literally, so it was fun. We had a little bit of traffic and a little bit of yellows, but still. But it's now time. Maybe we have a few words on the car. So basically, you might be familiar with the 992 GT3 car, and this is based on it. Of course, when I say based, it's a race car. So yes, the base is pretty much it. But then whatever regards the kinematics, such as the dampers, the suspension is different. The size of the wheels and the tires is completely different. The track in the front is wider. Actually, this is one of the few race cars that it's wider in the front than is in the back. This is the power of rear engine cars. It's a very interesting car. So if you come closer, we still retain the original boot, although it is we lose some of the trim, of course, naturally. But this is the same stock bonnet. It's metal. The difference is, of course, that there is no opening system. Naturally, it's a race car. So the bumper is the stock bumper. Everything is stock. The only thing that is different is these flicks. These are only allowed in NLS. So, for example, if you drive Carrera Cup, you cannot have them. And then, of course, the difference part starts from here. So you can see these extended arches, similar to what the 997 had. So it's a similar recipe as the 997. So wider arch in the front. We have much bigger wheels, much wider wheels in the front. We are seeing that they are currently emptying the fuel tank. Fuel tank is in the same position as the street car, but it's a different system. Of course, it's the FIA fuel tank. The whole brake system is different. Of course, this has 2 master cylinders. This is to allow to have proper mechanical change of brake balance in case you need to. This car is generally driven without ABS in the Cup Championships. We are allowed to drive ABS on the Nordschleife. But this is why it is very important to work on the brake balance, because it makes a big difference when you don't have ABS. It's a crucial part of the car. In this car you can see that there is the ABS unit is right there. One cool thing maybe about this car is that the Cup car doesn't have adjustable dampers. So if you are out with your MX-5 and you just spent $4,000 on all-ins, whatever, you have better suspension than a Cup car. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's up to you. These are fixed. You can change the spring, but you can change the ride height, of course, but nothing else. There is no clicks, no dampers. Then we come towards the middle of the car. The actual chassis, so the body of the car is exactly the same. So it's built in the same place as they build the road cars. So it's one-to-one the same. But of course, this is different. This is a carbon fiber door, very expensive, very light. Of course, the windows are fixed, both sides. There is no flaps or anything. And then while we are here, we can have a peek inside. We're going to go on the other side to look at the driver's side. Right now we are having a passenger seat in because we are doing taxi laps on the Friday, but generally the passenger seat is not there. And then of course there is the cage. The cage is put in directly from Porsche, so this is not like a afterthought or a job after the body is built. This is built and painted directly from the factory. So it's quite cool. I think it makes it a bit safer. Then we have here again. This is a different part compared to the road car. So this you just pull it off and it comes out to access the car, etc. So this is the jack where the air lance goes in to raise the car. So you don't need to use cricks, etc. And then we are getting towards the back of the car. Of course, the different size of wheels and tires. So this car runs 18 inches front and rear. So no 22 inches bullshit on race cars. Nobody needs 22 inches. And you can see that the shoulder of the tire is substantial. So all of you posers driving with the 25 high shoulders, you are doing it wrong. But up to you again. Of course, the brakes are from Brembos from front and rear. We spoke about it. Then to the back, there is no difference to the. There is no different to the track. There is no different to the track of the car. The big difference is, of course, the huge wing, which is not as big or high as the RS. So I think the RS is even bigger than this. This is already enough. Actually, the biggest problem we have with this car is to get the balance because we generally have too much aero. So even here on the Nordschleife, where we have a lot of fast corners, we are currently driving in the flattest possible position. So the least amount of airforce you can put in the car, then it's still going to be too much. Right, so I think everything is clear until now, so it's time to maybe jump in the car and have a look inside. Inside is quite straightforward. We have a race seat, of course, but it is bolted on, so it's not a safety cell like you would have maybe in a Mercedes GT3 or GT4, etc. So it's a normal seat. What is cool, what I think is really cool about this car is that the inside quality is quite high for it being a race car. So you can see here, maybe it even has this soft touch plastic on top, so on the dash. So it's just like a road car, and the fit and finish for it being a race car is very high. So it is really cool. So talking about the onboard, of course, the first thing that comes out is the steering wheel. We have a lot of buttons on the steering wheel, but we begin with the basics. So this car has a sequential gearbox that is operated with paddles, so you just use the clutch like you would do with a normal manual car, but only to take off and stop, right? But once the car is moving, you can just shift up and down with no need of the clutch. You just use the paddles like you would on a PDK car. So it drives almost like a PDK car. Goes without saying that the car has no starting key. It has a start and stop button. And for the buttons that we have here, if we turn on the main, you will be able to see some of the functions. As far as the steering wheel is concerned, we have the high beams here, one of my favorite buttons ever. I just keep it pressed all the time. So the high beams. Then we have radio. Then we have a CRK. This is called crank. This is a button that we use to stop the car without having to turn the ignition off. So basically, when you come into the pits, as long as the pit limiter is on and you are in first gear, if you press crank, the engine shuts down. This is to prevent from cycling the car all the time with ignition that can cause issues during the race. Then we have coming down, we have this button that is called acknowledge. This is if you have a message on the dash, you just can press it once. Ah, thanks. Let's leave it like this. There's some hair. So acknowledge. Now, right now, the boys are emptying the tank, as I said, so the fuel pump is running. So this is the reverse button. So in case you get stuck and you have to put reverse, you have to press here. This button here is to turn on the electrical power steering when the engine is off. So normally it's off, so right now it's off, but if I keep it pressed, I don't do it now because maybe it interferes with the pump, but if I press it, it basically gives you 3 minutes of power steering assist, even though the engine is off. Coming on the right side, pit limiter, quite self-explanatory. You press it once, pit limiter is on. Press it twice, press it again, it is off. Mark is to put a mark on the data. So let's say that you're driving and the car does a strange noise all of a sudden, or you are a misfire or something. Then you just can press mark, and this puts a mark on the data. And when you come back, the engineer can go straight to it without having to, check over 8 minutes or whatever. Wiper is the wiper, like a road car. Full course yellow, this is a second limiter. First and second gear goes 60, third gear goes 120, because during the NLS and 24-hour races, we have this kind of pit limiter. We have this kind of pit limits depending on yellow flags and accidents and incidents, etc. And then we have here a drinking system. You can see here maybe there is a connection for the radio and for the drinking system. So you just press and water comes out and you can drink. And then display is just simple button to cycle through the various display dashes. We have several dashes. We have this the engine values. This is the fuel values. Then you have this is the qualifying page. This is the general page, and then here you see all the data, how many hours the car is run and whatever. So here you have all sort of sensors to double check. We have SPA for some reason, then there are two other things. There are actually two more buttons here in the back. These are just the indicators. So there is two more buttons here just for the indicators. You keep it pressed and the indicators are blinking. This is a very intelligent place to put the indicators, by the way. And then we have this rotating switch here. So with the left one, we cycle through the options. So we have TC, we have ABS, TC, dimming, ATH, and MUL. So basically ABS is the ABS. We can go from 0. With the right one, we change the setting. We go from 0 to whatever, to 12, I think, is the max, 11. So we run a specific value, generally 3. TC, we run off. Dim is the dashboard, so when you are in the night you can dim the dashboard so that you don't get blinded by it. So everything gets dim, all the lights in the car gets dimmed. Then ATH is the pedal position for the throttle. So you have two options, 1 and 2. 1 is soft, 2 is aggressive. Basically it's linear or more aggressive than linear. So in the Map 2, the throttle body opens faster than, opens faster than how you push the pedal. And then MUL is just an optional setting that we currently don't have. Then furthermore, here in the middle of the car, we have some other things. Specifically, we have this GPS over IP. This is exclusively for NLS. It gives us information as far as the flags that are coming up. Then lights on and off, rain light on and off. The fan, you can have a fan for you, the driver, you can have a fan for the windscreen, or a general fan for the rest of the car. Fuel pump button, then we have different options that are set up individually by the team. Then we have wet tire, because in case we have to run wet tires, we have to select them because the diameter changes. Then we have this button that is called gearbox. In case you have a failure, if you press this button, you basically force the car to stay in the gear. So this is helpful if you have a big emergency, but generally speaking, we don't use it. And then we have the hazard light. We have another setting, another important part of the car is here. As I said, you can change the brake balance front and rear, and you do it by rotating this switch, like to the front for forward, to the rear for backwards. It's quite simple. And it shows graphically, it shows the value on the dash. So we have main switch here, just for the general electricity, and then we have the ignition to start the engine. Finally, we have the fire extinguisher that hopefully nobody ever uses. Furthermore, we have here the last one is the driver ID setting. This is exclusively for the championship because we have driver changes. So basically, you can select which driver is in. So on the timing screen, it shows the correct driver. So I think this is everything. I will turn the car off now. And get out. So as you can see, it's not as dignified and comfortable as a touring, but almost. Right? And of course it's a race car, so we have big boys belt, 6 points, because this is very important for safety. The seat is of course FIA homologated. We have the safety net to prevent, in case there is a rollover and the door flies off, this prevents the arm of the driver to get out of the car. Of course, there is none on the other side because we don't have passengers, and when we do, it's Serxio, so we don't care. Yeah, and I think this is it. This one. So this is also interesting. This is to access the driver from the top in case there is a big accident and the driver cannot be removed from the door, or if the side of the car is blocked or whatever, or the medical crew has to access the car. They do it from here. So they just unscrew this and then they do it from here. And this last bit here. These holes here, these are for to grab the car from the top in case the car cannot drive any further. Again, this is something you can see that these are sealed, these are not broken. This is a good sign. It's a good sign. It's a good sign. Yeah, that's it. Then the windscreen, of course, is not glass. It's a plastic windscreen all around, and then we have these kind of protections here to protection. Oh my God! This is a crossover episode.
What's going here?
Oh,
sorry. Sorry for
it's yellow. Is that the ring banana?
Sorry, actually, it's slightly faster. Slightly faster. But this has been a big scheme from me. Yes. So it has taken years to finally have a race car in the same livery of the ring banana.
Yes,
but I managed.
But it's like a ripe banana because it has a bit of black.
Yes. Yeah. It's the other way around. It's slightly faster. But since you are here,
yes.
How was it?
Amazing. The car is fantastic. Yeah, it's important. Yeah.
It's a big day. But I saw the car. The car looks cool. Yeah, it's not just for the cameras. We saw it and we said it's. We saw it. Last thing we have to talk about is this. There you go. Thank you, assistant. It's hot, huh? Be careful. In your Porsche, you have a small flap here that opens, and you can access this one, and then you actually have another flap here. You can take it out and access it. So this is how your 992 engine looks, if you would have been able to see it before. So engine-wise, completely stock, 100% stock. The exhaust is even more silent than your road car, because here there are quite strict engine noise regulations, and we have to stay below 130 dB, which sounds like a lot, but when you have a race car with the noise of the tires, etc., and the noise of the gearbox. So you might hear in the video when Serxio is in the car and driving that the only thing you hear in the car is the gearbox. And also when you look at the car from outside driving, you also only hear gearbox. So it is a bit of a shame because we know that the engine sounds fantastic when it's open, and this is why if you have a look at a Carrera Cup race or a Super Cup race, especially the start, that's brilliant because all the cars there are running fully open. But here we have literally a very strict exhaust. It's just shame, but it is what it is.
Do you like this engine?
To be honest, I don't have an opinion. It's a race car, so I don't have opinions on race cars. In the sense that if you win the race car is good. If you don't win the race car is shit. So it's like I generally don't have an opinion. It's time to wrap this episode up. I think it was a bit unique, a bit different. I know nobody cares about motorsport, but maybe the presence of Serxio sort of enhances the video to such extent that you're gonna watch it. I suggest you to watch it.
You mean that people came for this video to see me?
Just to see you, of course. To see us. So this is not a motorsport video. Yeah, as you can see, this is pretty much as close as is possible to our road car, but it's still fast, you know. The lap record is 8 minutes 4, including the VLN configuration.
Who holds this record?
I don't know.
Yes.
I will not say it, but I will say it. Gabriele Piana holds the fastest lap time of this Cup car class at the Nürburgring, and also the fastest race lap. So there is that.
Out of curiosity.
8:04 and 8:08 in the race.
Full Nürburgring and GP track, so VLN configuration.
So this is this is cool because this is a lap time that 7 years ago would have been considered fast for a GT3 car. So this, you know, motorsport is moving forward, yeah. But it's not that I am fantastic, but it's just the motorsport is going.
You are actually quite fantastic.
No. Thank you. So me and Sergio say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. Sergio, we do it again, hopefully without yellow flags.
Hopefully without yellow flags. I think once all of this is said and done, I think it's, you know,
It's
going to take a little bit of time.
I told you that the best thing is like there is a lot of people that have never been here like at all, and they didn't do this. And I think this is a bit of a waste. So I think it makes more sense if you have driven and you know, oh, Flugplatz is due to this and it feels like this, and then you do this and say, okay, no, it's a different.
Yeah, it's a completely different ballpark altogether.
Yeah.
Just
insane. See you. Ciao.